In this video, I'm gonna explain you how you can design the minimum viable product in the easiest possible way without complicating anything, okay? The most important thing that you need to understand when you are designing your minimum viable product is that you only need to design the core flow, okay? The core screens and the ones that you need to show the user the path, okay, or the journey. This is the information that I was missing when I was starting out and I was creating my first application, and that's why it was a complete mess. So I would recommend you to stay until the end of this video, because I'm gonna show you a really simple and straightforward process that will simplify the things a lot for you. So I believe the most important thing when you are building or designing your minimum viable product is, first of all, understanding what should a set of MVP screens achieve. And you have the client side and your side, okay? From the client side, a good minimum viable product allows a user to, first of all, understand what your app does. Okay. Secondly, register or login. Okay, this would be the authentication pages. Perform the main action. Okay, the action that will take the user to the desired result, and see a clear result on your application. And this is one of the most important things. And from your side, it allows you to, first of all, see where they get stuck, measure conversions, and learn quickly. Okay? And there are like a couple of key principles that you need to follow when you are designing your minimum viable product. First of all, the simplicity versus complexity, okay? You need to keep everything as simple as possible. This will increase, the quantity of screens and the complexity of the screens will increase in the future, but for now we need to keep it simple, because it's a minimum viable product. It's not a full product yet, and you are testing your assumptions. By the way, if you are liking this video, it would help me a lot if you subscribe to the channel and hit the like button, because in that way we can keep reaching new people, YouTube keeps recommending the content, and we keep growing all together. Now, coming back to this, the second most important thing that you need to understand is that you need to design to learn, not to impress. You don't need the perfect screen. You need a screen that works from the user experience perspective. Okay? Clear flows, not pretty screens. And the most valuable thing here, the constant iteration. If you read the book, The Lean Startup, you will already know what I'm talking about. Design, test, learn, okay, measure, and then finally adjust. So you need to make a switch, and don't design screens, design the user journey, and this changes everything, okay? Changes everything from the design perspective, because you stop adding new things and you start thinking, okay, if the user is in this screen, how can I take him to the desired result? What do I need to put here to make the app really work? Okay, the minimum journey the user needs to take to get real value in your application. And I have put an example here. Okay, a new user arrives, then he creates an account, then performs the main action, gets a result. For example, for a founder arrives, then uploads the data and sees their first report. I mean, these are like just examples, but it will change completely depending on the app that you are creating, the problem that you are solving, and the audience. Now, these are the screens that I think, okay, that almost every minimum viable product should have. Okay, the most common set of screens in an MVP. First of all, the landing, obviously, okay, the home page, and then the sign up or login, very simple and straightforward, email and password, nothing else. Then the onboarding, okay, 2 or 3 steps, only asks what is essential to deliver value, okay. Then the dashboard for the user. This is the command center where the user can perform different actions. Then the core screen, then the result screen, one of the most important ones, that clearly shows the final value. Some basic settings, okay, you don't need to put every single thing that you see on an application inside your MVP. For example, if you take the example of Mark Lobion when he was starting out, the apps that he was creating didn't even have an option or a link to recover your password. And it's okay because you are testing. Now, this is one of the things that changed my mind completely, okay? Design each screen as if it were an experiment. For each screen, you define what should this screen achieve? Ask yourself. Then the main action, what does the user have to do? Where does it come from? Where does it go next? If you're already familiar with the user flows, you would already know what I'm talking about, but it's one of the most important things when you are designing the user experience. Then the wireframes, okay? What a good or minimum viable product wireframe should have is, first of all, a header, a main area, navigation, and a clear main call to action. And finally, if you want, you can add like a space for system messages, errors, info, success, etc. But don't overcomplicate this process. When I'm designing the wireframes for an application, I don't even add colors, okay? I usually use like a neutral palette, so I don't distract the eye, because you need to focus on the user experience, not the screen to look perfect, but to really understand the user journey. And if you start adding images, color, typographies, and all that shiny stuff, you will distract yourself and you won't pay attention to what's really important and crucial on the application. Now, this is the very straightforward process that you can follow to design the screens, okay? First of all, you have an hypothesis that can be, for example, if users can create their first piece of content in less than 3 minutes, then we'll return tomorrow, okay? So you design minimal screens to test the hypothesis, then construction, then this is measurement, okay? Then where they get stuck, which step they abandon, what they understand or don't understand. Then you need to learn from that, and then you simplify and reduce steps. You change copy if it's necessary. You ask for feedback and you iterate. Okay, the typical process of an MVP: launch, measure, learn, and iterate, and know when you need to pivot. Now, if I needed to summarize all the process into 7 steps, would be, first of all, clarify the problem and user, define 1 or 2 critical user journeys, list the minimal necessary screens, define the job of each screen and the main call to action, make low-fi wireframes. Okay, low-fi means that low fidelity. Okay, you don't need to overcomplicate it, just the core stuff. Then design states. This is like a bit of secondary thing, but you can implement it. And then test with 3 to 5 users. Finally, you iterate. Now, as you may have seen, this is very simple and straightforward. You don't need to overcomplicate this stuff for a minimum viable product. These are the things that I wish I learned when I was at the nation and I was starting out with all the app development stuff. Now, if this video at least help you, it will help me a lot if you subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed yet, you can hit the like button, because in that way we can keep reaching new people and YouTube keeps recommending the content. You can comment right down below if you need to, if you want me to talk about any specific topic of a minimum viable product. On the next couple of days, I will launch Kobo waitlist, so you can subscribe to the waitlist. Kobo is an app that will help you get users for your application as fast as possible with predictive analytics. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video.